If you're looking for ISAs and marketing, please contact J. Lopez Enterprise, servicing all 50 states. It's Jimmy Mortgage, your favorite lender. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. As you know, Let's Talk About It is a platform that provides financial literacy, home ownership, real estate need, entrepreneurship, whatever you're looking for. Let's Talk About It provides that platform. Today I have a special guest. She came all the way from Long Island, and she is the Purpose Lawyer. Purpose Lawyer, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
No, but okay, I'm Sabine Franco, an attorney, strategist. I try to help my clients to create the perfect plan for them based on their goals and their needs, whether it's in business or it's in their life. We focus on estate planning, trust and wills, to keep it simple, right? And we try to figure out like what is the proper plan for you. So I've been in business for 14 years. I'm a wife, a mom, and yeah.
That's
I feel like you could have said it better, Jimmy.
No, it's all about you, because when it comes to estate planning, one of the things that I feel like as a community, we're scared to talk about it. And the reason why I have you here is to talk about it, because whatever doubts that you had or questions, I want you to be able to answer some of those questions today to my audience, so they could feel comfortable knowing that when it comes to estate planning, you should talk to a lawyer, but you should talk to Sabine.
Okay.
Sabine Franco,
like
that is, right?
Yeah,
That's what it's about, right? This is a community thing, and I know you do well when you service your clients. Provide value, not service. You don't fix cars. I'm being careful with my words today because I am speaking to a lawyer. So, she might punch me a little bit.
It's fine. I'm very easygoing.
Noted. So, what's the name of your firm?
The Ambitious Legacy Firm.
How did you come up with that name?
I would say a couple of years ago, I want to say maybe 8 years ago,
right.
I was thinking about how to sort of brand myself on Instagram. And I came up with the Purpose Lawyer, right? And so in doing that, I was always thinking how does this sort of really fit? And, as the years went along, I realized that what my passion was to help people build their most ambitious legacy, right?
Okay.
Because I felt like I was meeting a lot of people, especially people in communities of color, where they were just very hopeful and they were very excited about hearing new information, access to information now, right?
Right.
And wanting to put so many things in place that maybe they weren't necessarily ready for, right? But all these things are great tools and great opportunities for growth and protecting yourself. So I realized that it was ambitious for them, but also I wanted to help everybody who I came in contact with build their most ambitious legacy. Right?
And the reason I asked that question, because you could have said the ambitious group, right? But you put legacy. And I was like, 'cause most people in their firms, they have legacy, right? And so I wanted to know how you define legacy, right? And the word that you put ambitious in front of legacy, I was like, okay, that's lawyer talk, right? 'Cause you put that type of word in front of legacy, you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to know how did you come up with that name? But it's because of IG.
Yeah, that's where it started, but yes, it evolved from there.
So recently you've been on Yahoo business page, right? Fox. Many years ago you was on Power 105, The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was great, actually. I mean, I grew up listening to Hot 97, Power 105, and all the things.
Days.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was actually a goal of mine, which I never spoke about and never told any about, except, who knows about it.
Let's talk about it. I love it. We're breaking things here. I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. So, it was a goal of mine, but it was more so in my heart. And finally, when I got the opportunity through speaking to tons of people across the country with DJ Envy, we got the opportunity to go on The Breakfast Club and talk about, share how to help people.
Right,
you know what I mean? Essentially. So that experience was really nice. It was like a little, what do you call it? It's like starstruck or a little bit of a shock.
I saw the clip.
Yeah.
You are different today, I promise you. You are different today for sure.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, being in the building was really a really nice experience. And it just was it made me think about, when you set your mind to things, even if you don't know how it's going to happen, that it can happen.
You're right. And to your point, right? I'm watching some of your stuff on YouTube, IG. just watching the growth, right? And
Thank you.
I want to give you your flowers now because this is
thank
not
you.
easy. The more reps you get in, the better, of course, you get, right?
Right.
And you can just see like you're becoming more natural. You're just like, boom, boom, you're flipping. Like now you're like, you're stuck up. Now I'm like, wait, why didn't you answer that question this way? But you do it in a way, but the call to action is, this is why I'm giving you it this way, because this is what you're probably thinking. And this is why I want to make you feel comfortable when I reply this way. So you're not stressed about that type of conversation, right? Because
Correct.
when you speak to lawyers, sometimes it can be intimidating, right? Because the first thing they think about is like, she's gonna charge me some money. Or I don't know what to say. Or maybe I didn't ask something right. No, you're simplifying that process by saying, it's okay.
Right.
Get this thing out of your mind. Ask me a question. I'm here to give you my value.
Yeah.
Full stop.
For sure. Like when I meet with clients, when I speak to them, I'm always trying to make them feel comfortable because I already know it starts with a space of intimidation.
Right.
And so I'm always trying to make them feel comfortable, be personable, smile, things like that. I've learned those social skills over the years. And then I always try to tell them, you don't need to know the answers. You don't have to be sophisticated.
Right.
You can just say what your thoughts are. So I ask them, what are your thoughts? What did you envision? So that they know I'm not asking you to like be perfect, and I can dissect what you're trying to say or what you need,
If you're looking for a title company that's easy and no headaches at closing, please contact Alan, Chief of Staff at Simplicity Title. They're covering the state of New Jersey. So let's jump right into it.
Sure.
What is the difference between a will and an estate?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked the question that way, because an estate is basically everything that you own that's of value. Right. So your house, your accounts, your jewelry, could even be family heirlooms. Anything that you own that's of value is part of your estate.
Okay.
Right. A will is directions that you can put together to a court on how to disperse or give out your stuff when you're gone. Right. So a will is really just like directions, a letter, a note saying this is what I would like.
You can chat GPT it or do whatever you want.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay. I'm saying it. My bad. You see, I told you I'm with a lawyer now. I gotta be careful how I speak.
But I'm trying to simplify it so that people kind of understand, what it is.
Right.
So that's what a will is. So will is saying what you want done with your estate if you are not here. But it requires that a will is executed in court. Right. Not executed as in signed, but the only way that it has power is if a judge gives it power. Right.
And so it's safe to say if it's done right, has better mechanisms of saving some of your assets.
Yeah. So
right?
I think you're maybe asking about a trust. So like the difference between will and trust,
Will and trust,
no, it's cool. It's cool. So and this is what I do with my clients, right? When they say like, I need a will, I'm like, why do you need a will? Tell me the story behind this, right? So with an estate is everything you own or value. So what you're trying to do with the will or trust is direct what happens with your estate.
Right. Okay.
Right. So estate is the thing, right? That you're trying to direct.
I fumbled that already.
It's okay.
Yes,
we're having fun here, Jimmy.
We are going to have fun.
Yes, we're having fun here.
I started it. Oops. To that point, right. So the question was, what was the difference between a will versus a trust?
A trust. All right, cool. So I already told you what a will is, right? A will is directions, has to be, given its power through a court. A trust now is also a set of directions, except the law says that you don't need the court involved in order to have this thing be valid, in order for these instructions to be walked out. Okay. You can say who you want to follow these instructions. You can say how you want it. You can say when you want it. Right. And the difference is that with a will, because it requires the court, and the court has what we call discretion, right? So they can sort of, within the law, they can sort of make their own decision how they want things to go based on evidence. When it comes to a trust, they don't need evidence, right? Whatever's written in the trust is what it is. And whatever your state law has certain laws that pertain to that trust as well. But it doesn't require court intervention. And so that's what makes the trust more attractive than the will.
Okay, so hence you should, if you're comfortable, you should lean more into a trust than.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll say this. Somebody asked me the other day, because I have like different packages in my firm, helping people to get to where they need. And someone asked me, well, when's the last time you did a will? I'm like, well, a standalone will, I've not done that in a couple of years, because when I evaluate what people really need or the goals that they're trying to get to, most times a trust is part of that picture, right? So I do encourage it a bit more, in my practice. And the not needing to go to court is one thing. The other thing is that it's private, right? It doesn't ever have to be filed. So no one has to know what you've left in your estate plan, right?
It's funny you said that earlier because, when it comes to stuff like this, right? Some are private about their information, right? And some are scared about if they don't do this or should they do it, whatever. And you said, eloquently, they're going to find out if it goes to court because your estate is going to be public because you're going to be challenged by wherever you live, right? With that stuff. Where with a trust, if you have this conversation with me, this is private, and whatever you instructed me to do within the trust, this will be private amongst your family. God forbid something does happen.
Correct.
This can service your family members.
Correct.
Yeah. So I like to know when people are going through something like that, why do you make it easier for them? How do you make it easier for them?
Okay. Well, I think, and I don't want to throw shade on other attorneys, right?
You don't have, no. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is what it's about, right?
Yeah.
No, there's not sugarcoat nothing here. Let it rip.
Okay. So most attorneys, when they interact with people, they want to sound smart. They want to sound like, they have all the answers. I'm not so caught up in sounding smart. I actually want to solve the problem. Right. So I talk to people at the level of where they're at. Like I speak in regular language, and I always, if I find that they are, holding back or whatever the case is, I try to read the room in a sense and give them. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a call with a client. I got on Zoom with her and her mom. Her mom is 80 something. So I usually have a questionnaire for them to fill out ahead of time. Right. So she fills out the questionnaire, but doesn't give me any financial information. And I'm like, so normally I would be like, we need to reschedule, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, let me just meet with her and see. Right. And so I'm looking that they're speaking in circles. They're kind of looking reserved. So I go into listen, I've been doing this for how many years? I understand that especially in Caribbean communities, like people feel like they don't want to share information. And this is how I can help you by us being on the same page. Otherwise, you can have one view, I have one view, and I'm giving you advice based on something that doesn't even exist. Right. So that type of thing, being curious and trying to figure out, where the people are and what is really the root of the issue is kind of like how I build that personal relationship with clients. So you lean into where you think you can add to it while letting them speak truth to whatever that got going on. Because people are shy. It's just what it is. And like, again, when I saw some of your stuff online, I'm like, yo, you made that look real simple. I'm like, because, as a professional myself, sometimes I'm insecure about certain things, right? Because I'm like, you're putting your stuff out there. I don't know if she's going to say this or say that, or am I going to be that guinea pig? But truth of the matter is, if you believe you're giving that value and you trust that person, at the end of the day, referrals is how we survive in our business. Yes. So that's a true testimony, because once you help them out, they're always going to brag about what you've done for them. So yeah, and that has been the journey. I had to learn that over time because, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to not only execute on your field, but you have to learn how to deal with people, employees. You have to learn how to run a business, systems, processes, all those things. So I had to learn how to deal with people and get out of the, I got to do this. You know what I mean? I had to be in the moment, and that has helped me because now clients are my raving fans, right? I don't have to work as hard in terms of acquiring clients because people are calling because you did it of the experience.
Right. You're proof. Just like that. You're right. Looking for a real estate lawyer servicing all real estate need? Please contact John Georgie, servicing the state of New Jersey. So I'm going to jump into my world of lending, right? Sure. One of the biggest things that some are thinking about doing sometimes is establishing a trust, right? Okay. So there are two types of trusts, revocable and irrevocable.
Yes.
Can you please break down the two?
Differences? Yeah, sure. So when it comes to a revocable trust, the attractiveness of a revocable trust is that it's flexible and you get to maintain control, right? So oftentimes when people are getting into this world of estate planning, they feel a little bit uneasy about giving up control.
Right.
So your revocable trust is your foundation. It allows you to maintain control. It gives you the dual protection that not only are you maintaining control, but if something happens to you, your family is going to be fine, right? You're going to have the protections in place. You can marry it with your insurance and all that stuff and make sure your plan sort of is followed. When it comes to an irrevocable trust, it's not changeable, I would say, in a sense, for the most part, right? Creating an irrevocable trust has to be done for a particular purpose. So there are many different types of irrevocable trusts in that that particular bracket itself. So are you doing it for tax purposes? Are you doing it for Medicaid? Are you doing it for liability, right? And how your goal is going to determine what the language in there is and how it functions.
Right.
But generally, you can't change an irrevocable trust or you're not going to have the protections that you want. And also, you may be limited in your access and control.
Right. So for us, when it comes to lending, we can only work in revocable trust, right? We can't do irrevocable trust because to what Sabine was saying, once you sign that, you can't open it up. Like that's it, finito. So again, you can get a mortgage with a trust, but it has to be revocable trust, right? Because it gives you the flexibility to put it in there and change some of the things within the addendum of the trust, so you can allow whatever transaction you got going on. Because there's going to be times where someone needs to refinance, something happened, or death in the family. With the revocable trust, it allows us to do needed things. But again, if you have the irrevocable, no bueno.
So what Jimmy's talking about is that most times the lenders want you to take the property out, right? If they're going to do any type of financing on it. And that's because they want to be able to secure their position, right? Which is understandable.
Right.
And so with a revocable trust, you can put assets in, you could take them out, things like that. With an irrevocable trust, once it's in, it kind of has to be extremely strategic in order for you to access that. So generally we say it can't come out. You can't, you can't do it. And a lender won't be able to exercise their rights on it. And technically it's outside of your estate. And so because of that, lenders don't feel comfortable with that.
So when it comes to purchasing a home, I get the question all the time, how do you deed the house? And they'd be like, yo, Jim, you should tell me. I'm like, no, you should speak to your lawyer.
Right.
When it comes to deeding your house, or title company, they work hand in hand in some cases. Some, I'm using that word, some, right? Something don't be happening, right? That very well, I'm sure.
Yes.
So when someone is married, right, because different states have different rights of survivorship, right? What do you typically tell your clients sometimes when it comes to those type of conversations when they're asking, I'm buying this house, I'm married, have a family, I want to protect it, I'm thinking about putting this house in a trust, not a will. I didn't say that out loud. Can you walk me through that? Like, what should one consider when they're purchasing a home, and how should they title their home?
Yeah. So when you are purchasing a home, you want to consider what your intentions are for ownership.
Right.
And so I'll just give different examples. If you're single, generally that's not going to be an issue. It's just going to be your name on the deed, right? And if you're holding it personally in your name, which sometimes the lenders want that, right? If you are married, some states are going to require you to have what's called tenants by the entirety, or like maybe husband and wife, right? And so there's different rules about ownership, and then some states just require you to have your spouse on there,
right?
So there's that. And how that works is that if one spouse passes away, the other spouse automatically becomes 100% owner.
Right.
There's a similar thing called joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Right. So if you are co-owning with your brother, your friend, whatever, you can do joint tenants with rights of survivorship, which may or may not be the goal, because if one person passes away, the other person automatically owns 100%.
Right.
So it is a form of giving your property at death, right? Because it doesn't require you to do anything else but die.
The mortgage after death.
Right.
The mortgage after death.
So I caution people who are not intending that. If you want for when you pass away, your half to go to your family and their half to go to their family, then you want something that's called tenants in common. Right. So it needs to have that language because some states have like an automatic, if you don't say anything, that it's tenants in common or it's joint tenants. They have different things. So you have to say what it is that you want.
Right.
Yeah. And if you are trying to, if you want to have the property in the trust, then the name of the trust is going to need to be on your deed, not your name.
So again, look, she's dropping knowledge here. So I'm not here to answer those type of questions because again, I'm just responsible for the numbers, but how you deed the house, you should contact a lawyer to make sure what you're actually asking for within your title is there, right? In some states, you don't need a lawyer to do the purchase, but a simple conversation sometimes can go very far because it may not happen today or tomorrow. It can happen in the future. And because you didn't take the time to spend a little bit of dollars to make sure you were protecting your asset, one of the most biggest purchases that you're going to make in your life, it can cost you in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, in the states where you don't require a lawyer to do a real estate transaction, I say write down all of your questions and just pay for a consultation, right? So it could be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you think is necessary, but it may cost you less than $200, you know what I mean, for between a 15 to a half an hour consultation. And you're buying something that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So always think about what you're trying to protect when you're thinking about the investment that you're going to make.
Right, because if you can't come out of that bad boy at $200, bro, you damn, I should have spent that little $200-$300. So this is what we're trying to do, right? Make sure we educate you. Look, we get it. Times get hard at times. But technically speaking, if you're buying that house, you should have a couple $100 to, if you're not using a lawyer in that state to get some of those questions. It's a big purchase, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't know this. Can you add insurance into estate planning?
Yeah, absolutely. Insurance is a great tool for what we call liquidity.
Right.
So for instance, if you have a property that's, that you want to keep it in the family, you don't want it to be sold, or any other asset that you want to treat that way, insurance is a good way to add like dollars, cash into the in the estate plan. So there are specific trusts that you can create that can hold life insurance, but most trusts, even revocable trusts, can hold life insurance. Right? Could be term, it could be whole. And so that way, if the person passed away, whoever's life that was insured, that money then goes to the trust. And now there's money there if there are taxes that need to be paid. But more importantly, if you want to give money or gifts to other people, you're able to do that without selling or getting rid of, the principal assets that you have.
Right, because Homeline Show is an asset class.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, want to be clear, right? You guys need to know this. Again, I'm loving this show. She's answering all the questions.
Sometimes I talk too much, so please stop me.
All good. Looking for insurance to insure your home or automobile? Please contact Alexia at Allstate, located in New Providence, New Jersey, servicing clients in the state of New Jersey. I noticed too, I was reading online, I saw like about 55% of people die without a state trust.
Yep. And that's, sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead. It's just your show.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and so that's one of the things that really motivated me. And you'll be surprised, it's not always about they don't have the money to invest into an estate plan, because there are different levels of things that you can do, no matter where you are in your journey. Most of it is like people are intimidated by the information, or they don't feel comfortable with any particular lawyer or what have you, right? The other thing is sometimes they're scared about if they put the plan in place that they're bringing on their death. Right. I hear that all the time.
Especially in the Caribbean household.
Yes. And so what I was saying is that it's not about not having the money to do the estate plan. Sometimes it's just the intimidation, and sometimes they're embarrassed to say that they haven't, done it. And so there's a whole bunch of emotional reasons tied to why people don't do it. But, what I try to do is just educate as much as I can to encourage people to at least get a personal consultation. Why? Because there's so many things we hear on the internet, right?
Yeah.
And because it is a complicated area of law, people are confused and overwhelmed with the information.
Like, as they should, right?
As they should.
Right.
And the information really doesn't even matter because it's not applicable or may not be applicable to your particular circumstance.
Right. That's why it's get confusing at times.
Exactly.
Again, that's why you got to contact the state lawyer to help with some of this stuff.
Right. Yeah. So, getting a personalized consultation about what is your circumstance definitely can be valuable to you because it's going to help you know what your marching orders are. And it's going to be tied to your goals and what you're trying to achieve.
Realtors, they're going to love this question.
Okay.
How do you avoid probate court?
Oh, yes.
Because realtors be going crazy sometimes, like someone's over here, at this state over here. Jimmy, I can't get this closed. I'm like, you're in probate. Like, so can you please break it down? What can you do?
You, as a realtor, can encourage your client to have an estate plan that includes a trust.
Boom! There you go. Right back to the trust.
And why is that? Because your realtors are a good group of people to know the ins and outs and the heartache that comes with probate, right? Because there's always so many things that can go wrong. You can't find people. People are fighting. Right. And that's why probate court is such a nightmare. And if you have no will or you have only a will, you're gonna end up in probate court if you leave assets behind. Oof. So a lot of people think that if I have a will, that's enough. It's not enough to keep you out of probate court, right?
It's not enough.
No, that's like your map to probate court, right? Like you're going there.
Okay.
So a trust is the only way that's going to keep you out of probate court. Or if you have assets where you can put a beneficiary on, those generally will not go through probate. But if there are minor children, it can still go through probate, even if you put a beneficiary. Yes. Okay. Yes. Wow. So that happens to people all the time. So you want to just think about that. Now there are some deeds that you can put in place. Like, for instance, there's always been life estate where you can put some language on your deed to avoid that going through probate. Right. And then transfer on death deeds. However, the reason why I don't like those is because there's no contingency. What if that plan that you had didn't work out? Right. So like that, backup? Meaning the next person is dead also. Right. And that's what you end up finding a lot, right? Yeah. Generations.
Generation, right, yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Or a situation happened, somebody, like passed or they're spending their residence at a facility.
Right.
Not gonna go there.
Right.
But yeah, that happens and, you got to sell the house at the end of the day, right? So we've seen these things happen before. That's why I ask these questions, because realtors sometimes, especially the newer ones, they may not know these things may happen. So I'm happy that you're explaining that to them today. Like, yes, what to look out for and how you should talk to your clients, especially after the transaction's finished, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just, I'm selling you this. It's like, no, hey, you know what? Congratulations, you got the house. One of the biggest things I like to do with my clients is making sure that they're planning for the future. Here's a good referral. Talk to a estate planner to help, protect my future, right? Yeah. So we can avoid these things in the future. You got to start with good habits.
Yes, exactly.
You start with that, then everything else will make sense. And I promise you that piece of the conversation you put in there, they're going to speak to their friends and maybe they didn't know about doing anything about with their estates. Right. They may question that now and they may give you a call and call back the realtor. So you're creating a conversation, right? You see your value, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're talking about something that they didn't think about, but because you put in front of them, now it becomes like, oh, okay, I didn't think thank you so much for helping me, right? And
yeah, for sure.
And that's what it's all about, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, and that you all as realtors are giving a value add to your clients, right? Yeah. You're being that source, as you guys already are, right? That source, that center of influence, to tell them, like, listen, now that you've got this property, there's something else you need to do if you don't want to have, issues in the long run. And that way, as a realtor, you can probably get that property back if somebody passed away or something like that. And it's clean. It doesn't require probate. It doesn't require, all of that stuff. And you're able to then relist it and sell it again if that's the case.
FYI, she's licensed in the States. I'm licensed in New York and New Jersey. So absolutely, for sure, she can definitely help if you're looking within those two states.
Thank you.
So quick question. A lot of people get into investing and at times they're buying property in different states.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen where they don't have a will or estate.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell investors who are investing in out-of-state properties?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really important for investors that have properties in different states, you know, or your residence is in one state, your investments are in another state. If you have only a will or no plan at all, your family's going to have to probate in every single state.
Oh.
So it's not one probate, it's multiple. And then,
how much money that can add? Wow.
It adds up. Different states have different rules on how much it costs to probate, but certainly if you have a lot of real estate, they're going to have to be valued, right? So now you need appraisal upon appraisals
right.
and things like that. And so if you have a trust, your trust can be located in one central state and own your properties in the various states where they are, and you avoid all of those multiple probates.
So in other words, get your mind right, and definitely, I'm not against the whole will thing, but I'm just saying the state sounds better.
Yeah. I mean, it is better in most cases. Like very rarely is a will sufficient for someone who has assets in excess of 100,000. You know, very, very rarely is that sufficient for you to just have a will. So you're going to want to see like what strategy is necessary for you based on what you have going on.
Yeah. Excuse me. We're going to make things on a lighter note, because we've been talking all this jargon with legalities of what you can or cannot do, will versus estate. Outside of doing what you do so well, you also like to help out Mary Food Pantry, right?
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Thank you for asking about that.
Yes, it's important.
So Marie's Food Pantry was born. My mother actually started that pantry. It is a pantry, but they provide cooked food to one of the poorest areas in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So my grandmother had a home. They used the home to, renovate it to make it suitable to have people come there to actually receive cooked foods, right? Because sometimes people don't have homes, they don't have kitchens, they don't have things like that where they can actually do that. And so it's been running for like 7 years.
That's awesome.
Yes. And unfortunately, because of the climate right now in the country, the house has been, taken over by rebels, but they've been able to find other locations where they can go and give distribution. So even though they don't have the central location anymore, they're still operating. Right. The other good thing is that it employs people locally. Right. So everyone who is working on the grounds they live there and they're, working to help feed their communities as well.
That's awesome.
So it's been great. It's grassroots, but it's been growing. And over the years, we've had a lot of donors who are committed to the cause. And so we're grateful for that.
As you should, right? It's again, when we talk about community, when you see people pouring their time and currency, it just you just want to do it more, right?
Yes.
Like you're more into it. You're leaning a lot more into it now.
Yes.
And then at times you could do an events and have other, professionals come in and, grow that pie, right?
Yes.
And then, and again, it's a tax write-off. So for those, please definitely visit what she's got going on with the
Marie's Food Pantry.
Marie's Food Pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're not, again, doing that, you're jet selling. What's your favorite country you've been to so far?
Ooh, I think France still has my heart so far. Like I've been, a lot of places.
Yes, you have. You familiar with JFK?
Yes, I'm very familiar with JFK, but I've enjoyed France mostly. We spent like 3.5 weeks there. That could be
3.5 weeks.
Yes, that could be why.
Oh man!
And we road tripped through the entire country.
Right.
So it was a really wonderful trip. But in terms of like the culture, the vibes, the country's beautiful. So that has been.
I can agree. You know why I agree at this one? Because most people say I've been to Paris.
Yeah.
France is nice.
France is nice.
France is dope. Like, because we went to France myself. I'm like, yo, this is dope. Like Paris is just like Manhattan, right? Everything is there. Yeah. You see the lights. And I get it.
Yeah, I get it too.
I get it. But France, the roads, the hills,
the countryside.
It is.
It's beautiful.
It is like, wow. It just blows you away. Like, this is like, it's not hidden. We just don't go there.
We just don't go there. It's not popular, right?
Right.
So
wow, that's what's up. That's what's up. Do you speak French, by the way?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm so sad that I don't.
Mommy gonna cut you.
I know, right? I'm so sad that I don't.
Wrong, but
I've been trying to learn, but
the attempt is there.
Yeah, the attempt is there. The effort.
So outside of that, what other things you like to do? If you're not jet sailing, you're not Murray's Food Pantry.
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant? Put it out there.
Like, I love being a mom. I only have one child. She's about to be 13. Pray for me, y'all.
Good luck with that.
I know. So spending time with family, you know, I'm married as well. My husband, we always do date nights. So if I have to tell you, my favorite restaurant is Del Frisco's.
Yo, girl, that crab cake is a problem.
Yes.
That is I love
the best steakhouse I've ever been to.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know she was going to do that. I promise you. Yeah, Del Frisco's my joint. Yeah. That crab cake, you would think like the water's behind Manhattan. Like, it's right there. I mean, right there. I mean, Manhattan is an island. Yeah, obviously there's water.
And we hope it's not coming from that water.
Yeah, exactly right. That part. But the food, oh my God, I love Del Frisco.
It's good. I love it. Yeah.
Wow.
Hands down.
Well, Sabine, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk About It. Now, people are looking for you. Where can they find you?
So you can find me, the website to my firm is theambitiouslegacyfirm.com. And all of my links are there. I also have another website, a personal brand website, Sabine the Purpose Lawyer. Or you can find me on Instagram as Sabine the Purpose Lawyer.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk About It.
Thank you.
Others, if you're looking for Let's Talk About It and Sabine and all the knowledge that she dropped when it comes to estate planning, let's talk about it. Jimmy Mortgage, put it on all your Google search, ChatGPT. You'll find me. Again, I'm on your favorite streaming platform, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Just type in Let's Talk About It by Jimmy Mortgage. Thank you so much. Hey listeners, are you looking to improve your home comfort and save on your energy bills? Let's talk about Seal Power. They've been awarded Energy Star Sustained Excellence Award, seen on Good Morning America, the New York Times, and World News. Seal Power is dedicated to keeping your home cozy while saving you money. Check out their website for tips and incentives and more at CIELPOWER.com. Stay comfortable and save with Seal Power, where comfort meets efficiency. Follow them on Instagram for updates and more, and let's talk about it as well. Thank you.